when we're examining poetry, we can always kind of start with a title and say, what does the title tell us? Does the title tell us really anything? And if we just want to stick to the three right now of agent, scene, and act, who is this person? Where are they at? Where do they exist in time and space? And what are they doing? You know, and this is, of course, always an act of interpretation, because what we get out of it might not be what the poet meant, and we don't really care about that. So, with just the title of the Moss of His Skin, does it tell you much about either of those three things? Who the person is, where they are at, or what they're doing?
No.
Not really, right? Okay, good. Feel free to shout it out. So, I'm going to jump a little bit into this one thicker. It was only important to smile and to hold still, to lie down beside him and to rest a while. To be folded up together as if we were silk, to sink from the eyes of mother. From just that much, do we know anything about this speaker? Can we make any kind of claims? Who they are, age, gender, part of the world, can we say anything with any kind of certainty? Because again, we can level all this out from a certainty, like we can point right at it and say that's certain, down to a probability, right, weighted likelihood, possibility it could happen, or an outright distortion. Like I want to make this about, you know, an alien on Mars eating cheese. Like I could do that, but it has nothing to do with what's on the page, right? So Elizabeth, you...
Oh, well, we know for sure the person they're talking about with him, and I'm pretty sure it's probably a she that's like writing it, and it sounds like it's like from like a...
You're inferring it's a female
yeah.
speaker, right?
Like,
is there any reason why you would infer it's a female speaker?
Well, because it's him.
Because they're referring to a him that's lying down, two people lying down, so we'll make an inference that it's a man and a woman? Okay, yeah. Is there anything else in there? So, okay, the act, we could say that there's a man and a woman lying down, right? Okay, a man and a woman are laying down. Yeah.
I think we talked about it a little bit yesterday. When it says as if we were silk, I think that implies like there's a really strong bond between them. Like if it's like a love, or if it's
right?
like either like a husband-wife love, or if it's
Yeah.
a father-daughter, or like a really like a best friend.
Yeah.
There's like something between them that's more than just like I know you kind
Good,
of
right? Silk in our culture conjures up sort of romance, you know, at least something that's sensitive in nature, right?
Mm-hmm.
And also you brought up another aspect of silk, is that silk is extremely strong, you know, so, and that might not be something that everyone's culturally aware of, but, you know, silk is a really strong fabric, yeah.
I feel like either it would be like a little girl and her dad, or like a teenage girl. Because
Okay.
they said that hiding from the eyes of mother, and if you're like adult, like why would you hide?
Yeah,
Like,
sink from the eyes of mother, yeah. We could go through this, and we could really begin, this could be a little boy and a little girl, right? Like two children, a brother and sister. It could be, you know, and the him doesn't even necessarily have to be human, does it, at this point? It could be a dog, right? What if it's a dog?
And why should it be him and she? Hey, or why? It can be him and him.
It could be, correct. But again, we would infer in our culture right now, for the most part, it would normatively be associated with a man and a woman, but that does not mean that that's the only way that that could be read, yeah.
And I feel like you probably are, the author's probably not supposed to be there. When it says to sink from the eyes of mother, I picture kind of like, you know, if they're sinking in their chair, kind of, where they're kind of like ashamed,
Okay.
or like embarrassed or something.
So you're starting to get a scene out of there, like a
Yeah.
particular location. All right, let's continue on. And not to talk, there was one more bit of that I should have put in. All right, so next part of the poem. The black room took us like a cave or a mouth or an indoor belly. I held my breath and Daddy was there. His thumbs, his fat skull, his teeth, his hair growing, like a field or a shawl. Now, just sticking with those three elements of the pentat, an agent, you know, the speaker, the act, what is going on, and the scene, where we are, like in time and space, culture, any of those other things. Do we know anything else? Do we have any new information that can tell us who the person is? Let's just stick with who the person is. Deborah?
Maybe, I think it's a daughter because it talks
Okay.
about daddy.
Daddy,
So
right?
the daddy might be the him that she
Okay.
was talking about in the beginning.
Yeah, again, normative association, daddy, that sounds typically, but what's funny though, we could challenge that because we could say in the South, guys call daddy, right? Like, but you might not, you know, again, culturally, I could read daddy and think like, oh, well, you know, but you might get something